What is your American dream?
That my daughters can grow up and do anything they want to do. That's my American dream.
My American dream is an America that's unified and diverse and, filled with understanding and compassion and love.
My American dream is I hope that we can all just live equally and freely without prejudice, without ignorance.
I want to create a business. I want to focus in build my charity, start in America, build a charity.
My American dream is that we can live in a country where we don't necessarily agree on absolutely everything, but we can respect each other and we can work towards making the country better together, because that's what it's all about.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh, exhausting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Crunches. Okay, stretches. Downward groundhog. Very important. Stretch. Groundhog Sam yoga. Oh, hello. Spring is coming. It's a lovely day here after our last storm. And I'm realizing I gotta get rid of this paunch because Brad doesn't know it. But I'm gonna be hiding in his bag every time he goes to the beach this summer. Every time, so I gotta look good. Anyway, in case you missed yesterday's episode of Brad Show Live, Kofi Pepper was on. He's the board member of the Africa Coalition, which helps African people who have moved to the United States deal with their mental health issues. That's why Groundhog Sam works out. Keep the mind clear and the body tight. And Anna Ascona, our Miami field correspondent, interviewed J.K. Harado. He's a musician who comes from Colombia, and now he lives in the United States and combines the Colombian drums with urban beats, which I know all about now that I live in New York City. And finally, and very excitingly, it seems there might be a love connection between our two big fans, Skippo and Lisa Bling Rose. I want a wedding. I want a wedding. I want to wear a tux. Get it done. What's going to happen on today's episode? Well, you got to tune in to find out. Okay, back to the workout. Push-ups.
All right, welcome everybody. It is March 14th. It is Wednesday, and happy Pi Day for those of you who don't know. Pi is March 14th. It's also 3.14, which is some mathematical formula in a circle, which is why there it is. Also looks like a Jewish chai, but it is a pi, and I could probably ask my 14-year-old daughter all about pi, which is 3.14, March 14th. I don't remember it anymore, and there's a reason why I'm not a medical doctor, because I was terrible in math. But I am very good at remembering immigration laws, rules, regulations, and giving pretty good advice to people. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you give us a call right now, 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-529-5465, we will get you on my show. That's right, Brad Show Live, and we will be answering your immigration questions. So if you call right now, our lines are open, 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-529-5465. While we're waiting for people to give us a call, we have a few people on hold already, but while we are waiting for people to give us a call, I do want to say good afternoon to Carol, Petal, Princess Tamika, Barbara, Dion, Malia, Kamisha, Barbara Lord, Patrona Collins, who else is saying hello to me? Here on Brad Show Live on Facebook, Natalie McLean, Cordella Willery. Has Cordella been around? I haven't seen her in a while. Who else is here? Kabisha Thelwell, Natalie McLean, Kirk Brown, Dion Watson, Vikisha Taylor, and everybody else in the Brad Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And of course, you could also watch us on Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein, and Barbara Lord, Christy Kinsali, Atasha Hall. Who else is saying hello to me here? Mercedes B. All hello, 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 and welcome to Brad Show Live and Pi Day. In the news quickly, let me go to this camera while I go in the news. In the news quickly, maybe I'll go back to this. Nope, this camera. In the news quickly, just want to let everybody know what's happening. Stephen Hawking, renowned astrophysicist. He's the guy they made the movie about. What was the name of his movie? I saw it. It was good. Thank you. The Theory of Everything. He unfortunately passed away. He is known for his theories on black hole mechanics, how black holes vanish, how galaxies arise, wave functions of the universe. Basically, he came up with the theory of black holes. Nobody knew what a black hole was before this guy here, Stephen Hawking, and he was paralyzed and in a wheelchair, but obviously a brilliant man. So he came up with the theory of black holes and radiation emanating from black holes. Ironically, he passed away, this is the ironic thing about it. You know, he's a famous scientist, famous astrophysicist. He ironically passed away today on Pi Day, which is the mathematical formula day, 3.14 March 14th. He was also, ironically, born on January 8th, 1942, which is the 300th anniversary of the death of the astronomer Galileo Galilei. Now, Galileo, what did he discover? He wasn't the one who discovered gravity. Was Galileo the guy who discovered gravity? Could someone look that up for me? Maybe we have an armchair scientist out there who would know that. I know he did something very famous, Galileo Galilei. He was Italian. In an exclusive interview with CNN in October 2008, Hawking said that the future of humans would be fantastic if we could only survive the next 200 years. I'm actually concerned about surviving the next 2.5 years with Donald Trump in office. I think humanity would be well served if we can get past these 2.5 years. I kind of disagree with Steve Hawking. I'm not looking 200 years in the future. I'm looking 2.5 years in the future. And if we can get past Donald Trump, I think the future of humanity is in good shape. And Galileo, known as the father of modern physics, still don't know what he discovered. Astronomer. What else, Jill? Jill is whispering in my ear. Physicist engineer, philosopher. But what did he discover, Jill? What did he discover? Did he discover that gravity? Was he the guy who dropped an apple and a piece of paper and it fell at the same time? That was Newton. Newton did that. What did Galileo discover? He discovered something. We'll figure it out. 1-800-529-5465. So our condolences to the whole Hawkins family. And certainly the world is a little less better off without Stephen Hawking. Finally, I just wanted to say in September, okay, Galileo discovered Jupiter's moons. But finally, in September 2016, Hawking joined 375 concerned scientists in penning an opening letter criticizing then presidential candidate Donald Trump, citing the threat to climate change and blasting his push for the U.S. to leave the Paris Accord. Our condolences, and I think really the world is celebrating that he lived and all of his fantastic discoveries. So Stephen Hawking's dead at age, how old was he? At age 76 years old on Pi Day, March 14th, 2018. Telephone number to call to get your immigration questions, 1-800-529-5465. We're going to get to all of your immigration questions very, very shortly. I read in the New York Post. They have an exclusive, so I'm passing it on. I usually believe the New York Post, not always. I believe page 6 in the New York Post. I don't know if I believe anything else, but I certainly believe page 6 in the New York Post. I think they're always on target. Page 6, by the way, for those who don't live in the New York area, though, that's like the gossip section. So, you know, who the hell knows if page 6 is right or not. But what I read in the New York Post today, that Donald Trump Jr. and his wife Vanessa Trump are struggling through marital problems, and friends say they're heading for a divorce. Vanessa's the eldest son of the Orange Man, married in October 2005. They have 5 children. Although they are not legally separated, apparently they have been living separate lives. Can't blame Vanessa, who would want to be married to this guy anyway. In February, Don was in India as he continued to take his hunting trips. He likes to shoot guns. And unfortunately, or fortunately for Vanessa, she was not there with him. So Don and Vanessa heading to divorce court. We do not, Fiona, if Don Jr. calls 1-800-529-5465, 529-5465. Do not pass them on to Megan Buckwalter, our matrimonial attorney. There she is, Megan, our fantastic matrimonial attorney. But we will take Vanessa Trump, that is for sure. We just don't want any Donald Trumps represented here in our office. All right, so Don Jr., Vanessa, they're kind of done. There was National School Walkout today, marked 1 month since the since the mass shooting in Parkland, Florida. It wasn't a shootout, but it was certainly a mass shooting. Children from all states, from most school districts, walked out commemorating the victims who were killed in last month's high school massacre. Hopefully, this keeps this issue in the news and keeps pressure on our politicians to do something about violence in society, and specifically about gun violence and the ease in which people who have mental disabilities can get guns. Talking about guns in school, I will say this. I'm going to go on record saying that if we start arming teachers with guns, you will find there will be more accidental shootings by teachers than there are mass shootings by people walking into schools. I can guarantee you this. Just today, a teacher who is armed accidentally fired the gun and injured 3 students yesterday during a school safety lesson. So much for school safety. The teacher accidentally discharged a firearm while teaching a public safety class, and he injured 3 students in Northern California. This is Dennis Alexander, we just saw a picture of, who is a Seaside, California's mayor, also a reserve officer in the Seaside Police Department, and also now shooting kids accidentally. But certainly, this is what happens when you arm teachers. Guns and schools should not be mixed. Should not be mixed, period. Students, children should be able to go to a school, have no guns, no violence, no methods of producing violence, such as guns. So that's my sense on that. Finally, talking about a bunch of dummies, the biggest dummy of them all is the President of the United States of America, in my opinion. On the same day that he decided to tweet about developing I can't make this stuff up, of all the issues that we have in America, Donald Trump now wants to balloon our budget more by developing a space force, kind of like Star Wars, in the fighter pilots. We have airplanes that fly into space to have combat in space. I don't get it why we need that, but he now wants to start putting money towards a United States Space Force to fight wars in space. The problem is, besides, there are no wars in space at this moment and money can better be spent elsewhere. He was congratulating the Marine Corps for job well done in a tweet. Unfortunately, he doesn't know how to spell the word Corps. It's the Marine Corps, C-O-R-P-S. It's been like that for over 200 years, but instead he spelled it Marine Corps, C-O-R-E. He wrote, "It was my great honor to deliver a message to the Marine C-O-R-E Air Station." Come on, Donald, you don't even know how to spell your own military's name. Matt Morgan, in a tweet, wrote, "I served for more than 20 years in the Marine Corps. I know what he doesn't read, but the fact that our commander-in-chief doesn't notice the difference between a corps and a corps is more than a spelling error. Wrap yourself in the flag all you like. Actual veterans have had it." That about sums it up. Oh, I got one more thing here in the news before we get to all our calls at 1-800-529-5465. Today, there is a massive solar storm slamming our Earth. Today, it's going to cause power outages, stunning views of the Northern Lights in the United Kingdom. So if you're in the United Kingdom, you can see some pretty cool Northern Lights. The arrival of the solar storm coincides with the formation of the equinox cracks in the Earth's magnetic field, which form around March 20th and September 23rd each year. So solar storms, crazy people in the White House, Trump's getting divorced. What else? and immigration questions. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465 is the number to call. And now, please, everybody, please share this with your friends and family. Please share this with your friends and family. Let them know that we are here to help. And the way that we are here to help is you take out your thumb, you take out your finger, and you share this on your timeline. You share it on somebody else's timeline. You say, hey, Brad's about to answer your immigration questions. If you have an immigration issue or an immigration question, give him a call right now at 1-800-529-5465. And for those who always text us every day and say, hey, how come I sometimes don't see your show? How come I don't get your show? How do I find your show? The best way to find our show, go to our Facebook page on Brad Show Live, and if you like and follow Brad Show Live, yep, there we are. We're a little late on the trigger today, but there we are. That's how you follow. That's not how you follow. That's how you share this with your friends and family. But if you want to follow us and get notification, I'll just go like this. So if you want to follow us, again, I can't go anymore because you're going to cut my head off. Nope, you're not going to cut my head off. Yep, you're going to cut my head off. There it is. You got to go back a little bit. Got to push it back. Pull it back a little bit. No, that way. There we go. If you want to get notification when we're going to be on, you have to like and follow Brad Show Live. Like and follow Brad Show Live on Facebook. You're also watching us at law offices of Spar and Bernstein. But if you like and follow Brad Show Live on Facebook, you will get notification from Facebook every time we go live. You won't miss me. I promise you. You will never, ever miss me. So all you got to do is like and follow Brad Show Live. All right, 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Mike in Jersey City, who's been waiting a while. Mike, this is your turn. This is your turn up. You've been waiting 30 minutes. What's up?
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, how you doing, guys? I have a question. So my mom has a green card, and then she traveled overseas and stayed over than 18 months now. And then before she returned, she went to the embassy and she applied for SB1 visa.
SB1.
And she was denied.
Uh-huh.
So my question is, so should we apply for I-130 right now?
Is your mom doing this all on her own?
No, actually I'm helping her because she doesn't know how to do it.
Right. Okay. Where's your mom now?
Overseas in Algeria.
In Algeria. Okay. So your mom had a green card, and then she spent 18 months in Algeria, which basically she abandoned her permanent residence. She applied for an SB1 visa, which is a visa to return to the United States, even though you abandoned your permanent residence, and you have to be able to show that you really didn't abandon your permanent residence. You have your family here, you have other ties here. She wasn't able to do that. Perhaps, I would just say perhaps, had you hired us or hired a good lawyer, maybe she would have got it. But now it's kind of too late. So now you got to refile for her again. It'll take about 15, 16 months. That's what you should be doing. Now, my only concern for you is you've been doing this all on your own so far, and so far you've gotten nowhere. What I would suggest is you hire me, but the answer to your question is yes, file for her again now. You're a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Yes, file for her again now, but I would suggest you need help. Hold on. 1-800-529-5465. Judy in Jacksonville, Florida. Judy.
Hi. My question is, I was born outside the United States, and I've been here all my life. My father is a United States citizen. He also served in the military. Does that make me a citizen?
Well, how old were you when you got your green card?
I never had a green card.
You never had anything?
No.
Okay. Where were you born, Judy?
I was born in Jamaica.
When did you come to the United States?
I came here in 1974.
1974. How old were you in 1974 when you came here?
I was getting ready to turn 4.
Okay. So why in 1986, I guess you were about 18, 19, you didn't do any of the amnesty that Reagan came up with?
No, because I was...
you were told you were a citizen?
Yes, I was told I was a citizen through my father.
Now, let me ask you this question. Your father was a citizen when you were born?
Yes.
Okay. And how old was your father when you were born?
Well, my father is a United States. He was born in Tennessee.
I understand. How old was he when you? What year was he born? Your father. Let's go. Ask the question.
My father was born in 1926.
In 1926, and you were
Yes.
born in 1970.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I presume your father lived in the United States for most of his life. Is that correct?
All his life.
All of his life. So how did he meet your mom? He took a trip to Jamaica, or did he live in Jamaica for a while? What happened?
He served in the military. He traveled all over the world.
I see. And he traveled all over the world, and one of the ports was Jamaica, and boom, Judy's here now, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Yes, it sounds like you would be a citizen of the United States. You would have to be able to prove that your father was living in the United States of America or part of the U.S. military, stationed abroad, but as part of the U.S. military for at least 10 years prior to your birth. And it sounds like he was in the United States his entire life. So the answer to your question is you are a U.S. citizen. You just need to be able to prove it to get a certificate of citizenship and a U.S. passport, which you probably never got.
Correct. So,
okay. So your question is I assume your dad is passed, or is he alive still?
He's passed,
Okay.
and my mom too.
Okay. So we need to. The first step we would do is two things, because we gotta do some investigation here. Okay.
Okay.
So number one is I assume you have a birth certificate, and on your birth certificate it indicates who your dad is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then what we will do is we have to go request the military to send your dad's military records. And perhaps we will even, Social Security existed since World War II. So every year that he worked, he paid into the Social Security. We can request Social Security to send us all of his Social Security records, even dating back from World War II to the present. They have these records still. And we demonstrate, one, that this man is your father, and two, he's been living in the United States as an American citizen for his entire life, and certainly for 10 years prior to your birth. And then we apply for what's called a certificate of citizenship for you. You get your certificate of citizenship, we prove that, and then you're off to get your U.S. passport. So we can certainly help you. All right, so hold on one second. Hold on.
So much.
You're very welcome. 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call. We're taking your questions live right now. If you are shy, I like to make a joke. If you're shy like me, and you're shy like Belgium Kim, who's going to be popping in shortly, then just leave your questions, your comments on our Facebook page at Bradshaw Live, or you're also watching us on the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Belgium Kim is going to ask them. I will answer them in about 10-15 minutes. Right now, we're going to Trisha, also in Jacksonville, Florida. Two people back-to-back, Jacksonville, Florida. What's up?
Hi, how are you?
I'm very popular in Jacksonville, Florida. I should come down there.
I see that.
Yes.
I have two questions, but my first question is, so when my husband did my petition, and I got my green card within 5 months, but I got the conditional green card.
Right.
Then now, 90 days before that one expired, I applied for the 10-year green card. But my problem is we have never filed joint taxes together.
Why?
Reason being, he has problems with the IRS and all this kind of stuff.
What's the problems?
But he's on a payment plan, and he refused to file.
Didn't I speak to you about this yesterday, or that was somebody else in a similar situation?
No, that was somebody else.
Okay.
I maybe sound like
Sure.
somebody else.
Okay. No. I answered. Somebody called on our show yesterday with a very similar question.
Okay.
Okay. So how much could I ask, or is it too private? How much does he owe?
It's not much. He's on a payment. I think it's somewhere between 10 and 15,000.
Okay.
And because he's a businessman, so he's paying them. And he just refused to file with me. He doesn't want to file with me. The only thing he allowed me to do was to claim his daughter.
Why does he refuse to have you file with him?
I don't know.
All right, so this is what needs to happen. He's a businessman, but not a smart businessman. I mean, maybe a wonderful husband. I have no idea, but this is what he needs to do. Okay, he's on a payment plan, and the reason you're on a payment plan is you obviously don't have $15,000 in your pocket to pay, or the $20,000, whatever it is. You don't have the money. Okay, so now at the same time, for you to be able to get your green card, you have to show that you have a financial relationship with your spouse, that you are responsible for the joint debts and assets of the marriage. If you are not responsible for your spouse's debts and he's not responsible for your debts, immigration may consider your marriage something less than bona fide. That's That's the way to look at it.
My question is, we have our health insurance.
Let me finish. Let me finish, and then you can ask all your questions you want. I can tell you that if you're showing up with something other than joint tax returns, immigration is going to be extraordinarily suspicious, just the way they are, about whether or not this is a bona fide marriage. You are now opening yourself up to 25 million more questions. Okay? So to answer your question is, what if I have XYZ? Well, wonderful. And I'm sure it's a bona fide marriage, but if you don't have a joint economic relationship, they're going to deny you. Okay?
So even if I file for his daughter?
Even if you file for everybody in the world, it doesn't matter. It's about a joint economic relationship. It's about you living under the same roof. Those are the two things. So, okay, you have taxes that are separate. It's good. I'm not saying that people who have separate tax returns will never get through. What I am saying is, if you're watching me on Facebook and the bar is here, okay, and you show up with joint tax returns and all these other documents you're talking about, and the bar is kind of right over that little thing where it says, follow us on Facebook at Bradshaw Live. Let's say that's the bar. Okay. Now you show up without tax returns. Instead of jumping over this bar, you got to jump over the Empire State Building behind me. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's exactly what it is. You've just made it 3, 4, 5 times.
Opened up to more questions.
And you've made it 3, 4, 5 times more likely to get denied. Okay. So it's not worth it's not worth the aggravation, the stress, and quite frankly, the money of being put through deportation. Okay. Because you're gonna have to hire a good lawyer. We have in our office, a fantastic tax attorney. What she does is what's called offer and compromise. Let me explain to you what an offer and compromise is. And every person who either owes taxes or is on a payment plan should be especially listening very closely to this. If you are on a payment plan with the IRS or you owe taxes to the IRS, most likely it's because you can't afford to pay it all at once. For whatever reason, maybe your income is lower, maybe you don't have the assets, whatever the reason may be. The IRS, their job is to collect the money. Their job is not to give you ideas how not to pay your taxes. Okay? They will take every penny from you. They will give you the most onerous payment plan. They will attach your bank accounts. They will go after you and collect your money. What Carmela does, she's a tax attorney, is she does what's called an offer and compromise, which is IRS will never tell you that this exists, although it is a law. Okay? And what it says is that if you can demonstrate you can't afford to pay your taxes, they have to forgive your tax debt. And I can tell you, every person who's on a payment plan or every person who owes taxes, most likely the reason is because they can't afford it. Otherwise they would have paid it already. So what you do is you have a consultation with us, you and your spouse. It's absolutely free to speak to Carmela. She doesn't charge 1 penny for the consultation. She'll look at what you've got, and she will say either to you one of two things. Either one, you qualify for an offer and compromise, or you don't. If you qualify for an offer and compromise, her legal fee will be peanuts compared to the taxes that you owe. And then she will amend your tax returns. You will save a substantial amount of money on your taxes. She will make the offer and compromise. If you look at our Facebook page under Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein, there's a whole bunch of success selfies we have with people who owed $20,000 to $250,000 in taxes, and Carmela literally reduced that tax debt to almost nothing on all of those people. All true success people who had a big tax debt or were on a payment plan, and Carmela fixed it for them. Now, obviously, prior successful results don't guarantee a similar outcome. But I will say this, if we can reduce your taxes, and you can save money on your taxes, and you can then have a joint tax return, and then have an easy process to remove the conditions of your permanent residence, it sounds like it's a win-win all around.
Okay. So even if you already did your taxes, is there a way
you can amend it? You can amend it. You can amend it.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. All right. 1-800-529-5465 is the number to call to get your immigration, your legal issues resolved. 1-800-529-5465. Kanisha in Kansas. Are you in Kansas, Kanisha?
Yes,
yes.
I am.
Where is this called Lenexa? Am I pronouncing it right?
Yes.
Lenexa,
It is.
Kansas. Where is Lenexa, Kansas? I've never heard of. Is it a big city I should have heard of, or are you a small little
It's
town?
a very small town, but it's right beside Missouri.
Okay. So what brings you to Kansas, and what brings you to our show?
Well, what brought me to Kansas was my husband.
Okay, wonderful.
And we apparently are getting a divorce.
Aw, that's not so wonderful.
And that's not wonderful at all.
No.
And the thing is that it got very sticky because we ended up in an altercation. And before my interview with him for the green card, and what happened was that I was trying to protect him from being charged, and he ended up charging me with those stuff.
What happened with the case?
The case was that I was basically charged with 3 things, which is domestic violence, violation of court order.
Were you found guilty of a crime?
The only ones that they charged me with was the violation, but they deduced it to disorderly conduct.
Okay.
And destruction of property.
Okay. So it sounds like petty things, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
now what you got
the thing-
you got a 2-year conditional green card, right?
I don't have a green card yet.
You got nothing.
So what happened? Yeah. So he was trying to sabotage everything and
All right. So
threatening me.
then what I would suggest, Tanisha, what I would suggest for you is that you hold on. If you didn't get a green card yet, it's going to be one of two. Okay, either we can put together a very good abuse case for you, and maybe there is, maybe there isn't, and we would need to have a consultation with you about that, or you're going to have to get divorced and find another way. But to determine whether or not there's an emotional abuse, it sounds like there's something there. Whether or not it reaches to the level of physical abuse or emotional abuse, that you need to get your Violence Against Women's Act claim approved so you can get your green card on your own. That would need a consultation. So hold on one second, all right? Let's go to Ricky in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ricky.
Yes, hi, good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good.
Good. I'm actually calling on behalf of my nephew. So I have a nephew who's currently living in Ghana, West Africa. And he was born, right now he's 19. He was born in 98.
Right.
And his mom recently passed away. So when he was about maybe 6 or 7 months, his mom sent him to Ghana, and his dad was actually there.
He was born in the United States of America?
Yeah, he was born in the United States.
And his mom, where did his mom pass away?
She passed away in Maryland.
In Maryland. And so you have this child who was born in the United States. His mom sent him home 7 months. Did he ever get a U.S. passport?
He has a U.S. passport. He has a social. He has a social.
All right. So what's the problem? Other than his mom passed away, with my condolences on that.
So the problem is that so now he's been in Ghana since then. He's never came back to the United States.
Right.
And now he's at the age where he wants to come here and he wants to go to college.
Great.
University here. So the problem is that because he hasn't been here all these years, he has none of his legal documents. His mom had the documents, but
where's his passport?
So that's the thing. His mom was in possession of everything at that when he was sent to Ghana.
So he was born somewhere, maybe in Maryland, somewhere in the United States. So whatever, does he know, where was he born?
He was born in the Bronx.
Okay, so he was born in the Bronx. We'll go to New York State has something called Department of Vital Statistics. Every state has that. We'll get his birth certificate.
Okay.
He applied. All right, we have a birth certificate. We'll get his mom's death certificate. And he applied for a U.S. passport at some point in time, and he's going to take his information and whatever identification he has, and we're going to put together an application for him to go and apply for a U.S. passport in Ghana. And the United States is going to do whatever forensics that they need to do to make sure that this 18-year-old who is applying for his U.S. passport is the same person whose passport was him when he was 6 months old. You know, the picture in the passport.
So because right now he's pretty much kind of stuck in Ghana. So
No, he's not stuck in Ghana.
That on behalf?
Yeah, he's not stuck in Ghana. He's a U.S. citizen, and the only thing he did was he never kept any proof that he's a U.S. citizen. So we can get his birth certificate, we can get the death certificate, we can help him put together an application for a passport, and he's going to walk into the embassy. We can do this in a week, in 10 days. He's not going to be stuck there for months and months and months. Now, it may take him a few weeks to figure out, you know, what they want to make sure is that this 18-year-old kid that's walking in is the same kid who was born in the Bronx. You know, that's the key thing. All right, so hold on 1 second, all right? 1-800-529-5465. That's the number to call, 1-800-529-5465. Kevin in Patterson. Kevin.
Yes, hey, Brad, this is Michael. I spoke to you yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So you actually advised me, but question, you said I need to divorce my wife. If she divorced me, does it even matter?
No, it doesn't matter who divorces who.
As long as the divorce is in place, right?
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That was it? That was easy. Let's go to Linda in the Bronx. Linda.
Hi, Brad.
How are you, Linda?
I'm fine, thank you. Question.
Yes.
I would like to know, should my husband and I file taxes together based on our daughter who will be turning 21 soon? She'll be filing for us. So I wanted to know, should we both file taxes together since we haven't been filing taxes?
You file your taxes, whatever is the legal way, whatever your accountant says is both legal and the best tax for you, least amount of taxes to pay. When your daughter is filing for you, she's filing one application for you, she's filing a separate application for your husband. You do not need to prove that you're in a bona fide marriage. You don't even have to prove you're married. All you got to do is prove that this is your daughter, and she's a citizen. So so just do your taxes, whatever the legal, obviously legal. You don't want to lie and commit tax fraud.
No,
right.
Not at all.
So whatever your accountant says is this is the way to do your taxes. It's legal, and this will save you the most amount of money. God bless you. Go do it.
Okay, and another question. Another question. My husband's mom had filed for him in 2006, and he hasn't received any information from the immigration regarding his case.
Right.
From such a long time. So we were wondering if there's something wrong with this.
Who's filing for who again now?
My husband's mom filed for him in 2006, put a petition for him in 2006.
Okay, and she put it in, she's a U.S. citizen, and she put it in as a married person. Believe it or not, they're only up to December 15th, 2005. But you should have heard already, but when does your daughter turn 21?
In May 20.
Forget what mom did. You're going to get it through your daughter.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
And it's going to be one adjustment for you and a separate adjustment for your husband. How did you guys come to the United States?
We came by tourist visa.
Fine, then no problem. You have no criminal records, no other skeletons or anything like that? Nothing?
No.
All right. So you're going to be absolutely fine. All right?
Okay.
Hold on if you need help. All right? 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna come to Kimberly Kim in about 3 or 4 minutes right from now, and we are going to be Kimberly Kim, Belgium Kim as we affectionately know her. She's going to be asking the questions that you leave on Facebook Live, both on Bradshaw Live and Law Offices of Spar and Bernstein. She's going to ask the questions that you leave to me, and I'm going to answer them in about 4 minutes. In the meantime, we had sent our fantastic rock star attorney Brittany Russell. And by the way, happy birthday, Brittany. It is her birthday today. Coincidentally, also on Pi Day. Happy birthday, Lenny Stratt, also her birthday today. She is our firm administrator. 2 birthdays here today at Spar and Bernstein. But we sent our attorney Brittany Russell out. She's a fantastic personal injury attorney, construction accident lawyer, out onto the street to see if construction workers knew their rights. God forbid they get hurt in an accident. Let's watch to see if construction workers know their rights.
This is Kim Moore, and we are back on the streets of downtown New York asking questions about construction worker safety. Let's find out how much they know. What should you do if you get injured on the job?
I would definitely go to the hospital. And then after that, I guess, I don't know, take some sick days off.
Well, if I get hurt on the job, I'll inform my supervisor.
For my site safety, first thing.
What should I do if I've been injured on the job? Report it immediately to somebody near me.
Report to the safety guy and let him know that you are injured and when it happened, how it happened, and the time it happened.
I'm supposed to contact safety, and then emergency units will respond.
It's basically letting the site safety know, and if it's dealing with the concrete, let the concrete safety know.
If you are injured on the job, you should seek immediate medical attention. Call 911. If it's safe to stay where you are, stay there. Let an ambulance come and let the police come to document exactly where and when this accident happened. If your coworkers offer to drive you to the hospital, say thanks, but no thanks. If your boss offers to drive you to the hospital, say no. Take the ambulance to the hospital, let them document what happened, and let them give you immediate medical attention. If possible, take photos of where this accident happened. Work sites are always changing, so it's best if you can to document exactly where you were and what the job site looked like when you got hurt.
Who do you tell if you get hurt on the job?
Sounds kind of like the last answer, the person next to me. Immediately.
First person that's close to you, your foreman or whoever's around.
The person I tell my field supervisor.
Obviously my company, who I'm working for, and my loved ones.
First of all, you gotta tell your foreman. He's the one that is in charge, so you gotta tell your foreman first, next, and then from there he takes it on.
911.
If you're injured on the job, you should tell a supervisor. However, you should not make a detailed statement to the supervisor about exactly how you were injured. Site supervisor and the safety supervisor, they work for the company. They are not your friend in this situation, and they're not looking out for your best interests. Don't make any detailed statements to them until you talk to a lawyer.
What forms should you fill out immediately after you've been hurt?
I have no idea.
Immediately after I got hurt, I definitely don't know what forms I need to fill out, so.
Got a guess?
It's the safety forms. It's like, it's about what happened, what time it occurred, like I said, what time it occurred, the day, all the extra stuff. Yeah, that's it.
I think a workers' compact.
I've never been hurt at a job, so I really don't know.
Yeah. Insurance forms? For my, yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
There aren't any forms that you need to fill out immediately after an accident. There may be forms that you ultimately have to fill out, but you shouldn't fill out any forms until you talk to a lawyer. Let a lawyer help you with that.
Are you allowed to sue your employer if you get hurt?
Well, depending on what type of injury you have and how it went down, you could.
Can I sue my employer if I get hurt on a job? Tough here, I'll sue whoever I need to sue.
You could sue whoever he's insured by, but you can't sue your employer. That's what I'm hearing. I don't know if it's true or not.
Some employers don't allow you to do that, to sue, because maybe they don't have like insurance and stuff like that. They probably don't want to pay.
I mean, to my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that we have the right to sue our employer.
Well, that's all to the lawyer. I would hope so.
If I get hurt on the job, I don't think I would sue my employer, but hey, you never know, right? You never know what could happen. If it's definitely something that is their fault, I think I would consider it.
Well, I'm suing.
No, you cannot sue your employer. And you can't sue their insurance company either, actually. In New York,
You are not allowed to sue your employer because of workers' compensation. However, on a construction site, there may be somebody else who's responsible for your injuries. Could be a subcontractor or a general contractor or a premises owner. And against them, you can file a lawsuit. If you're injured at a work site, or if you're injured as the result of any other accident, call us at Spar Bernstein. We're here to help you.
All right, that's exactly it. So, God forbid you get injured in a construction site. Let's just clear this up right now, okay? If there's generally at a construction site like a site safety supervisor. Those site safety supervisors are hired by insurance companies to make sure that the construction companies, the landowners, don't get sued. They are not on your side. They are on the side of the insurance company. They want to take your statements and twist it around to make it seem like they did nothing wrong. That's why we're telling you not to talk with them. In addition, construction sites, by definition, they change. Every day, something gets constructed, something gets changed, something gets moved. As a result of that, the situation where you fell has changed within 24 hours because there's construction happening, which is why we're saying two things. You call an ambulance, number one, because it's the quickest way to get medical treatment. No matter what anybody says, it's quicker to call an ambulance to get medical treatment than it is to have your buddy drive you to the hospital. But more importantly than that, even if you say, I don't need the quickest medical treatment, you stay exactly where you are because the ambulance and the police are going to document exactly where the accident happened. Because if you get driven to the hospital, there's no documentation of where the accident happened other than your own word. And then there's going to have the site safety supervisor come down, and a lot of times they say the accident didn't happen the way he's saying it happened or the way she's saying it happened, which is exactly why you stay put, you don't move, you get the quickest medical attention you can get, and you get an ambulance and police to come so they can document exactly where the accident happened and what happened. Now you have a third independent party that has nothing to do with your employer or the insurance companies documenting what happened. Plus, you're getting the quickest medical care you can. Brittany, she's a rock star. That's why I wanted to play it again. Literally a rock star. God forbid you are injured in an accident. God forbid a construction site, automobile accident. You should always have our telephone number saved. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. With that being said, our lines are open to answer your immigration questions. We're going to get to Kimberly Kim, Belgium Kim right now, and let's answer your social media questions. Kimberly Kim, Belgium Kim, how are you, my dear?
Brad, I'm doing so well. How are you?
Brad. Look at the big brain on Brad, right?
I was just about to say
that's what it sounded like you were going to say. Look at the big brain on Brad.
Look at the big brain on Brad.
All right. So what do we got going on in social media?
So the first thing, Kamal Singh just gave us a really good tip on Facebook. ICE is currently at Sutphin train station in Queens.
Wow. I believe that. Okay, now what they do is they come there to scare the hell out of you. Okay? If you are on Sutphin Boulevard or anywhere in the New York City area and somebody from ICE walks over to you and says, hey, are you here legal? Show me your identification. You don't respond. You just keep walking. You are under absolutely no obligation, zero obligation to stop or talk to an ICE officer who stops you in the middle of a street. You have no obligation to stop or speak with them. Just keep walking. That would be my opinion, okay? People would differ, but that's my opinion, okay? Let them come and tackle you and arrest you because you look like a foreigner, okay?
Right.
All right, let them try to do that. That's my 2 cents. Because you have a right to unlawful search and seizure. You have a right not to be stopped walking the street, okay? So if an ICE officer asks you for your documentation, my opinion, reasonable people could differ. My opinion is you just keep walking. Say, sorry, I got to run to the bathroom. All right? I had bad Taco Bell today. Whatever.
And there's nothing that they can do, right?
Nothing, right? They could arrest you anyway, but let them go tackle you. Okay? That's such a violation of your rights. Okay?
Right, that's a constitutional issue.
And by the way, I just read, the only reason I said Taco Bell, I can't stand that place, but, people love Taco Bell. Their biggest selling item now is French fries at Taco Bell. That basically,
Yeah, they just started selling fries.
Yeah, right. You go to Taco Bell. Okay, that says a lot about the tacos there. If you go to Taco Bell and their biggest selling item is the French fry.
Yeah, well, yeah, you don't go to Taco Bell for like authentic Mexican
I don't
food.
know.
Like that's not what you're in the mood for.
I don't
when
know.
you go to
I don't know.
Taco
I mean,
Bell.
I just read that and I go, boy, that really says a lot about their tacos there. If their best-selling item is the French fry.
I gotta be honest, I was one of the people that was really excited that they started selling fries
Really?
because I want fries with my Taco Bell tacos.
No, I'm not, I don't do Taco Bell. I don't do Taco Bell.
How's your no sugar kick going, by the way, Brad? Are you still sugarless?
Yes, and that's why I'm so angry today. I haven't. I'm now. I've been no sugar now for about 4 days, and I'm getting to that point where I think it's like. I've never been obviously I never did drugs. I'm not a drug addict, but you hear these stories about like how the when you're on heroin or something, and like after several days you're going through this withdrawal, and it's misery. I think I'm at that part where I haven't had sugar in 4 days, and I'm at that,
Yeah,
that moment. I even yelled at poor Patrice right before the show. She's beautiful little Patrice. We love Patrice. Okay, she's so cute, little beautiful Patrice. We love Patrice. So I yelled, because she comes in and and she pours my cup up with water, and she, and I have the bottles here, and she takes all the bottles away. I go, what the hell are you doing with taking the bottles away? Don't take the bottles of water away. I need the bottles of water. What's wrong with you? And then I felt bad, and that was, by the way, Patrice, that was not me talking. That was the sugar. That was the lack of sugar talking. All right. Let's go to our immigration questions.
So Alex would like to know, I'm married and my wife is not in the U.S. How can I file taxes as a married person?
Why would you file taxes as a married person if your wife's not in the United States? You would file married filing separately.
Right.
Unless
married
she's a citizen. Unless she's a citizen or something.
Gotcha.
Right. I mean, if you're filing for her, she's not in the United States yet, so you would file married filing separately.
Louis says, how long does a divorce process take if the documents have not yet been submitted? And can the lawyer take care of the divorce without the partners being present?
I don't know where you are in this world, Louis. Every county, every state, every country has different rules for divorces and everything else. I will tell you, New York, okay? If you live in the 5 boroughs and you bring your divorce into Manhattan County, it will take approximately 6 months. Bronx and Queens could be closer to a year. If you are upstate New York, like a place like Rensselaer County, upstate New York is like a month. Nassau County takes forever. Okay, so it depends on where you are. Now, what I can only talk about New York divorces, and I will say this about New York divorces. Your spouse, if it's going to be an uncontested divorce, what the law doesn't require your spouse to show up in court or you to even show up in court in New York State. All that the law requires is that your spouse be given notice. So, for example, let's say Belgium, Kim, and I love you, but God forbid we're married. Okay, we would kill each other. God forbid. Okay,
yeah.
All right, but let's assume
the world would explode.
The world would explode. That would be like dogs and cats living together. Like just things that shouldn't be happening. All right. No. So let's assume that I'm married to you and I want to divorce you, and we have no assets, we have nothing to fight over, no kids or anything. Okay. The only requirement I have is to give you personal service, and I can't give it, but somebody else has to give you personal service and say, hey, by the way, Brad wants to divorce Belgium Kim, and if you have anything to say, come to court, and you got 20 days to put in an answer or something to that effect. And if you don't put in an answer, then the case goes uncontested on the uncontested calendar. And in New York State, you don't have to have any parties show up.
So Louis says that she's in Maine.
I don't know Maine.
No, don't know Maine.
Although the lobsters are about $12 a pound. That's all I know about Maine.
You know the important Maine facts.
I know the important Maine facts. Right, but I don't know what the divorce laws of Maine are.
We've got Oren who said, if someone wants to sponsor you, and I asked for a follow-up, didn't say, so I'm assuming a spouse, but if someone wants to sponsor you, what's the very first step?
Get married. In other words, the very first step is you have to make sure you have the relationship that allows you to sponsor. You can have a sponsor as an employer-employee. You can have a sponsor as a spouse. as a parent, the fact that the kid is born is the thing. The next thing is file a petition. You have to file something with immigration, but there's so many different ways to sponsor in so many different categories. I would need to know a lot more. But the answer is have the relationship, whatever that is, and file something. And I don't know what which is a petition, but I don't know what to tell that person to file because I don't know who's sponsoring him.
Depending on who's
correct.
Right. Camille says, is it true that USCIS no longer issues a work permit in 90 days?
Yes.
And if it's true, what's the new processing time?
It's more like 4 to 5 months. Thank you, Donald.
Right, exactly. There was that whole article about how even if he wasn't changing laws, he was going to make it harder and harder and harder.
That's exactly what's
through
happening.
paperwork and through stuff
That's
to
exactly
just
what's
maintain
happening.
steps. Oh my God. Shorty says, how soon after Shorty Hall.
Uh-huh.
But they're my shot.
Yeah.
Anyway, how soon after a wife gets residency in the U.S. can she file for her husband?
The next day. Unless she
So
got it
wait.
through a different husband.
Oh, that's a whole new
That's
can
all
of worms
right,
there,
right,
Shorty.
right.
Carissa says, what are the options for someone who's undocumented but married to a U.S. citizen with 6 U.S.-born children? He's been here for 40 years.
Get a green card. How's that for an option?
Right.
I mean, you're married to a U.S. citizen, you're here for 40 years. Guess what? I'm going to get you a green card.
There's many ways to get it, like,
Shorty,
one of
no,
your
this is not Shorty. I was about to say, hey, Shorty, give me a call, but this is not Shorty.
Shorty. No, this is Carissa.
Carissa, give us a call. 40 years,
Yeah.
You're about 39 and a half years too late of waiting, but better late than never. Give us a call.
King says, I want to ask, if you're married in America but you're a Jamaican citizen, how can your wife go about filing for you? What's the first step I should take?
This is the same question as before. File an I-130 visa petition that's the first step.
A lot of people are like, how do I get this started? It's a scary process. I get it.
I will tell you this. You know how you get it started? You call me and I do it for you. I take all the pressure off, all the anxiety off, and I do it as fast as humanly possible.
Exactly. Right. Oh, Oren is getting sponsored for work. So that's what he wants to know. Is he's getting a work sponsorship. What is his first step?
Prevailing wage request, but you really need a lawyer. A work sponsorship, you're going to need a lawyer.
Don't do it on your own.
Don't do it on your own.
Marky says, I'm still waiting for a green card interview in Miami, Florida. My U.S. citizen husband filed for me. My priority date is February of 2016. How much longer should I wait? My work permit is expired.
You shouldn't be waiting one more day. Give us a call.
You should have already
14 months already.
Yeah. Something's
unless
wrong.
Unless you did something wrong. Maybe they filed something incorrectly. I don't know.
Brat Squad newcomer Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Oh, she was a newcomer, and people were quick to be like, "Welcome to the family, Kimberly." Yeah. So,
welcome, Kimberly. Let me give her a Brad hug. Welcome.
Yes. And this is how our people onboard others.
Yeah.
Marge Higgs said, "Hi Kim, sign your name, take any seat except in the front row, and don't touch the coffee."
That's funny. Welcome. There you go. That was your welcome, right?
There it is. So Kimberly would like to know, I'm in New York and I don't know where my husband is. We need to get a divorce, but I don't know where he is. We got married in Florida and he left over a year ago. What can I do?
We got to hire an investigator and find him. So whatever information you know, I assume you have a marriage certificate, so we know his name, his date of birth. We may know his last known address. Maybe you have a social security number. Hopefully you have his date of birth. And we get an investigator and we find him. That's what we do.
Get Spar Bernstein on the case,
That's right.
Kimberly. Pa would like to know, should you be worried about being deported without having a green card, but you've been living in the U.S. for almost 3 years and you have other documents like a social security number and an ID card?
Yes. I mean, when you say should I be worried, the answer is immigration. Shouldn't be worried that immigration is going to come knock on your door. That's highly unlikely. Okay, but certainly in this day and age, to walk around undocumented is not a good thing. You know, you just heard the first statement out of Belgium Kim's mouth. By the way, ICE is at this train station at Sutphin Boulevard. Not that they would be arresting people; they're just trying to scare the hell out of people. Okay, what you should be doing is taking steps to try to make yourself legal. Here's a good step: call us for a consultation.
That's probably the only first step that should be in your mind at this point.
Correct.
Kimberly also hugs you back, Brad.
Thank you.
Alyssa says, my cousin is a DACA recipient and just got it renewed. She's now engaged to a U.S. citizen. What should she do?
Get married and then file for a green card. You can't do anything engaged. You can only do something married. Speed up the marriage. And by the way, we have about 4 people on hold right now: Rona, Ramesh, Kerry, and Beverly. We're going to get to all of you, to all of your immigration questions. So hang tight. We're going to get you in about 2 or 3 minutes. Belgium Kim's going to ask 4 or 5 more questions. That's what we have in our block segment right now. Then we're going to get back to some calls, and we're going to get back to Belgium Kim at the end of the show. So definitely leave your questions. We're going to answer more at the end of the show.
Yeah, I'll keep collecting them.
Yes.
Rona says, if you want to get a stamp in your passport to travel, how do I go about it?
You go down. Well, what do you mean a stamp in your passport to travel? Do you have a green card? What do you have? What do you have first before we ask those questions?
A solid question.
Yeah.
I have read all of the information I have from her. Kaman says, how long is an F1 visa for a fiance in Jamaica taking? And do you still pay for the I-130 if you get married and file within the 90 days?
The answer is it takes a year. You do not have to pay for the I-130. You don't have to do an I-130. So if you get married within 90 days, you can check off the box at the bottom. It says Other on the I-45 and just write fiance visa.
Oh. Leo says, I came from Brazil through the Mexican border 17 years ago. I'm married to a citizen, 2 years next month. Do I need to go back to Brazil for a pardon? And if so, how long?
Yes, but you do the pardon here. It's called a provisional waiver. If you go back to Brazil for it, you will be stuck for 10 years. You do it here and you get it approved, and then you go home. You'll be home in Brazil about 2 to 3 weeks.
Make it a nice vacation.
Yes.
Asset says, Kim,
Ascot?
please. Asset.
Oh, Asset. I thought you said his name
Window.
is Ascot. I go, that's
Oh
a
my
very
God, that would be
fancy
such a fancy
Yes.
name.
That's why I said, wow, very fancy. You know.
If you're Ascot, you can only ever wear it.
Yeah, I said, when did we get so fancy here? We got Ascot now, you know. All right. So what is the question?
Asset says, can a father and stepmother file for a child over the age of 21, and how long are they going to be responsible for that child, even though they are an adult?
Yes, you can file as long as it's a stepmother can file as long as the marriage happened before the child's 18th birthday, or a father can file, and you're responsible when that adult son or daughter gets a green card for on an affidavit of support for 10 years or until that person becomes a citizen.
Nia says, my friend who's been living in the U.S. over 17 years was ordered to leave the U.S. since 2012. What can you do?
Come see me immediately, because you have to reopen the case. You're living here with a warrant for your arrest. Those are the people who should be most concerned that ICE is going to come knock on their door.
Yeah. And Ogechi says, can an asylee travel for vacation to his home country?
No, because you just filed and said I have a fear of returning home. But if it's like a nice country and you want to go there for a vacation, then you're lying in your application.
Yeah, you're obviously not that scared
You're
to
not
go
that
home.
scared because you're going for a vacation.
If you're going lounge
It's not
on
even.
beaches,
Yeah.
right.
It's not even like I'm going for the death in the family. But you can't even do that. But come on,
Right.
you know.
Oh
That's like, you know, what color is George Washington's white horse? Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
It must be horse colored in some way.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb? I don't know. Grant? If I make an application and say I'm terrified to go home, my life is in danger, I'll be killed, tortured if I go home. By the way, can I take a vacation to go home?
Can I? That seems counterintuitive.
Yeah,
Counterintuitive.
Exactly. All right. You want one more? Okay.
I want to squeeze one more in from Nikki. Nikki says, if I'm married and my husband files for me and I got my green card, how long should I wait to file for my citizenship?
3 years from the time you get your conditional green card. Or
See,
your
I knew it was a
permanent
quick
resident.
one.
Yeah. All right. We're going to be back with Belgium Kim later on in the show, so please leave your questions on our Facebook page at Brad Show Live, also at law offices of Spar and Bernstein. And by the way, Belgium Kim, I know you're aware of this, and I'm sure other people are too, but just for the few who are not. If you're watching us right now and you say, wow, this is pretty fun, I like to be part of the Brad Squad, or you know what? I'd like to get my immigration questions answered every day. All right? Then what you do is you like and follow Bradshaw Live. And if you like and follow Bradshaw Live, you'll be notified.
You use that finger.
Use this finger, or this finger, or this finger. Either one.
Yep.
Okay?
Whichever one you use.
The one you use. You can, if you follow and like, you will be notified every time we come in live. How's that? How's that?
That sounds great.
All right. We'll see you later.
That sounds...
Well, I didn't mean to cut her off that quickly. That was like very harsh on Belgium Kim. That was very, very harsh. I said, how is that? Okay, we're going to see you later. Boom, done. All right. Sorry about that, Belgium Kim. That was not my fault. 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Rona in Rockville, Maryland. Rona.
Hi, Brad.
How you doing?
I'm good. I left a message on Facebook and I saw your answer, but I didn't know if she had a green card. Yes, it was my niece I was asking for. She had a green card and she waiting for citizenship. And we might travel before citizenship comes. And her green card might expire by that time. Can she go to the immigration to get a file in her passport, a stamp in her passport, and how do you go about that?
Okay,
You just
all right.
go
So
there.
you go make an info pass appointment. Now, if the citizenship application was filed 6 months or before the expiration of her green card, they should do it for free. If it was done within that 6 month period before it expired, the officer has a discretion whether or not to put the stamp or make you pay for a new I-90. Most of the officers are nice and just put the stamp in. Sometimes they're a jerk and say pay the filing fee. So hopefully they're not a jerk, or hopefully it's more than 6 months. Either way, you do what's called an info pass appointment.
So, but you can't just walk in, or you have to make an appointment.
You could walk in. I mean, maybe there's local. I would make an appointment. I wouldn't walk in unless it's an emergency situation.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Hold on if you need help. 1-800-529-5465. Kerry in Long Island.
Hi.
Hi, Kerry.
Good evening, Brad.
What's up?
I was calling to find out if your step parent filed for you. Like, how long does it take for you to get an approval letter?
If your step parent
over 21
filed for you, you should get it. You should get a receipt in a few weeks, but an approval letter could take over a year.
Okay.
All right.
No, I already got the receipt, but the approval letter is like almost 2 years.
I still wouldn't worry about it. You're going to get your green card on the same day because it's going to be approved back to the date of the filing.
Oh, okay.
All right. So don't be overly concerned yet.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All
Good
right.
luck. 1-800-529-5465. Beverly in Sunrise, Florida. Beverly.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
How are you?
I'm okay. I have a quick question.
Yes.
I got married in 2016.
Right.
Put in my paperwork. I got my interview on November 27th of 2017.
So far, so good.
And yes, and when I finished my interview, they told me that my was expired.
I don't know what you call
My
it.
oh my God. My
Your
medical. My medical was
We had it
expired.
at the same exact time. I figured it out what you were saying. So your medical
Yes.
expired because it was more than a year old.
Right. So
Right.
they said I have to do it at another one,
Right.
and they're going to send me a letter for me to bring the medical or send
And
it
they never
in.
did.
And they never did, and I went there, and they said I cannot
You
bring
can't
it in without my letter.
you need a letter because other than that, the letter tracks the medical back to the office.
But it's almost 4 months now, and I heard nothing.
Yeah, because it's a bureaucracy. If you haven't heard anything, what are we now? The end of February. No, we're already in March already. I can't believe it. We're
Yeah,
already
March.
We're already 3 months
It's almost
into this.
120 days already.
Yeah, we're already in March 14th. Pi Day. That's how I started our show. I forgot. Wait, I'll tell you what you do, okay? Because I don't want you to have to hire us unnecessarily. They should give you a letter within 120 days. You're coming up on 120 days in another 2 or 3 days. Give it to the end of March, see if you hear anything. But if by early April you haven't heard anything, then maybe you want us to get involved.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
You're welcome. 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Carlos in Miami. Carlos.
Hey, how you doing, sir? This is Carlos.
What's
hey,
up?
listen, I have, I'm living in Miami right now. I'm a legal citizen.
Great.
I'm 21, almost going to 22.
Uh-huh.
I just want to know how I can get my parents legally into the U.S. I mean, they used to live over here with us. I mean, but they were in illegally. But the thing is, they left 2008. It's almost been 10 years. And I think there was a law, like a 10-year law.
Correct. So they left. Why did they leave? Did they get deported, or they just left on their own?
No, they just left on their own. I mean, they had their own house and everything.
Where are they from? Where are you from? Where are they from?
Bolivia.
They're from Bolivia. So how did they originally come to the United States of America?
Well, they went with vacation, like a touring.
Okay, and they just stayed.
And yeah, they ended up staying.
And then they had you here.
Exactly.
Okay, and do you remember when they came? Or do you know when they came? You wouldn't remember because you weren't alive. Do you know when they came?
Yeah. I would. That's very no, not really.
90s.
Yeah, 90s, somewhere around there.
Okay, so your parents came in the 90s. They came on a visitor's visa. You were born here. I assume they have no criminal record or anything, correct?
No, nothing.
Okay, and they never filed anything with immigration?
No.
Okay, so they came here in the 90s. They overstayed their time. They had you. That's as much as the government knows about them. And in 2008, they packed up and left. And they've been back in Bolivia since 2008. So the answer is you're going to file an I-130 visa petition for them. You're going to file one for your father, one for your mother. Two separate I-130s. It's going to take about a year to schedule them for an interview. By the time they get the interview, it's going to be 2019. So we're not concerned. They have a 10-year bar. But the bar is 10 years from being issued the immigrant visa, not 10 years from you filing. So even if they're in the 9-year range right now, that's perfectly fine. You file the I-130, we know it's going to take a year anyway to get the appointment. By the time they walk in for the appointment, they'll be well over 10 years. That is the only bar to them coming back to the United States. They were not ordered deported. They don't have a criminal record. They didn't commit any fraud. The only thing they did was they overstayed their visa. They left for 10 years. They've satisfied that requirement. You can now file for them.
Okay.
Hold on one second, and I can help you. So hold on for that, okay?
Okay.
All right. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. So now, the Academy Awards, they were what was it, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago? The winner, for those who haven't seen it, was for Best Animated Film was Coco. Coco is about a boy who's born in Mexico, for those who haven't seen it. It's about a boy who was born in Mexico who has to go back into this world of the dead to straighten out his family. One of the issues with this Disney film originally was that they were being accused of being culturally insensitive. They eventually brought on cultural consultants to the film, which then in turn made it authentic, which in turn won it the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. So with us the other day, I had an interview with a gentleman by the name of Herbert Siguenza. Herbert is an actor, he's a producer, he's a comedian. He was also the cultural consultant on Coco. He was also two of the animated voices, Tio Oscar and Tio Felipe, and he was part of the production that won the Academy Award. Let's watch my interview here with Herbert. So we're with Herbert Siguenza. He's a comedian, an actor, a writer, and a producer. He recently voiced two of the main characters in the Academy Award-winning movie Coco, Tio Oscar and Tio Felipe. He has also served as the film's cultural consultant as well. He's one of the founding members of the comedy performance troupe Culture Clash and the San Diego Repertory Theater's playwright in residence. He joins us today from San Diego via Skype. How are you, Herbert?
I'm okay, despite that Trump's here visiting his walls.
Oh, gosh, get him back to Washington where he belongs, right?
Yeah, he's here for a couple of hours.
Yeah, well, it's very interesting. I read an article from your governor, Jerry Brown, that it's very sad that he's actually going to visit a wall instead of going to visit bridges and other things that are really making California great.
Right.
So I don't know what he's going to look at the wall, but good luck to him and get him back to Washington as far as I'm concerned. And thanks for coming on our show. I really appreciate it. Tell us now. You were in this amazing movie, Coco. You voiced two of the main characters. You were also one of the cultural consultants. But let's just take us back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your immigration story first.
Well, my parents are from El Salvador, but like most people from El Salvador came in the 80s during the Civil War. My parents came in the 40s.
Wow.
So they're one of the first. Yeah,
maybe they were the first, even possible.
I think they were the first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very few families from El Salvador back in the 40s. But my dad actually met my mom in San Francisco in the 40s after he got out of World War II, and he was enlisted. And then they went back to El Salvador, had my brother. Then they came back, and then they had me in San Francisco.
And that's actually very interesting because he met a woman. Your dad who was from El Salvador, met a woman from El Salvador. I mean, what are the odds of finding that in California in the 1940s?
Well, I guess it was like a rooming house or something. We're Salvadorian,
right? With a whole bunch of Salvadorans. I have a whole other story about how this law firm started immigration. It started a rooming house with Trinidadians, but that's a whole other story for another day. So now, how did you get involved in Coco? That's like an amazing thing. I mean, to be a part of an important part, not just a secondary part, but a very important part of an Academy Award winning film.
Well, I was a little nervous. I was flown up to Emeryville to be a cultural consultant. And, we were already a little weary. Disney wanted to copyright the actual word, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. And the Latino community went crazy over that. I mean, that's like...
Of course, it's like saying, I want to copyright Halloween. It's like there's only Halloween in Disney World and nowhere else. Can you just explain to some of the viewers who may not be Latinos, what is this day?
Yeah, Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, is basically November 2nd, where families go to the cemeteries or build altars commemorating someone who has passed. And basically, it's just a day to remember people who were in family that have passed on.
And
that's basically.
And now you came on board. They asked you to come on board after they tried to actually copyright this day themselves. Yeah, what was your first thoughts, and how were you convinced to come on board, and what did you do to make this movie so culturally on mark that it really made it into an Academy Award winning film?
Well, I felt more comfortable because I recognized some of the other names, some of the other cultural consultants that I have tremendous respect for, and so I went up there and I saw everybody, and basically what they did is they showed us a mock-up of the movie. They showed us the script. It was narrated, and we saw the movie in a very sketch form. But I enjoyed it very much, and I thought, this is going to be real special. And we all gave our 2 cents, what we thought might work better or more accurate.
What was your 2 cents that you changed in the movie? A lot of people saw this movie. What did you change in the movie that somebody who watched the movie could see and say, wow, I remember that scene?
Well, not just, it's real subtle stuff, like just how a kid would address his mom, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. In American culture, we're much more casual about it.
Right.
But in Latino culture, you have to say mama, you don't say Maria, you say mama, you always have to, respect your elders. But they really got that in it's a very authentic film. I really love what they did with it. They consulted with culinary experts, musicians, comedians. They just consulted with everybody, and that's why I think they got the culture real right.
And what do you think of the final product? You think it was deserving the Academy Award? I assume you were part of it.
I think so. I would have been thrilled anyway, but to be part of it is really an honor. But I think the movie is beautiful. It's just really, really beautiful.
So do you think that this is going to make any shift or change in people's opinions about Latinos or Latino representation in film? You don't see a lot of Latino blockbusters these days.
No, you don't. No, this is a tremendous triumph for the community. But, I've always said, unless we're the writers, unless we're the producers, unless we're really the people behind the scenes, nothing's going to change. I think this was a miracle. This is great. Disney did it, but it's still Disney. It's still, we know who's in power. We still, representation is not just on the screen. It has to be, representation is behind the screen. That's really when things change.
I think maybe when you see a Latino superhero starring in his own blockbuster, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe he's bald.
Maybe he's bald, right? And his parents came from El Salvador. You never know. What kind of changes, in all honesty, what kind of changes do you want to see in the movie industry? You want to see Latinos more in the executive roles rather than in front of the camera? You think that's really what's going to make the difference?
Oh, that's the difference right there. I mean, you go into a studio, you don't see people of color. You go into meetings, you see young guys that graduated from Yale and Harvard, and they're well educated, but they have no cultural sensitivity, no cultural awareness of Latinos. So a lot of stories are based off this ignorance, and so we have to change that. But we have to be around the table. Otherwise, things are not going to change.
Do studios have jobs for cultural consultants, or is it on a movie by movie basis?
I'm not sure about that. They might have some cultural consultants,
but they haven't really done anything to really move the needle anywhere.
Right. In this case, they did. They spread a wide web, and they got a lot of people.
So, how did it feel to walk the red carpet? I mean, I assume you walked the red carpet. Were you at the Academy Awards too, or no?
No, we went to a pre-Academy Award party. But there I am with my family. The red carpet was at El Capitan, which is a theater in Hollywood. And you know what? It was all worth it. My daughter, Belen, was just beaming. And she was so great on the red carpet.
Of course. She was so proud of her dad, and you have a beautiful family. Yeah. What was it like to voice over characters? Did they show you? Take me through what like a day was voicing over a character for a major blockbuster movie. Did they show you the animation as you were doing it, or you had no idea what the character was going to be doing, and you just had to take a guess? Did they make you do it in different voices or change in your tone? How did that all work?
Like I said, the month before, I had seen a mock-up of the film. But just drawings of my characters, Tío Felipe and Tío Oscar, who are these slender, long guys that don't look anything like me.
Right. So you actually had to really make up their personality then?
Yeah, I really had to come up with my own voice and or voices and slightly different, but not really, and come up with something. There was no animation, so they really animate to your voice.
Wow.
That's what happens. And you're by yourself. It's not like you're interacting with other actors.
Now, you've been an actor and a comedian, and you've been in the entertainment field for, I would presume, most of your adult life. You're part of this group, Culture Clash. Tell me what that's all about.
Well, Culture Clash is a three-man comedy group. We've been together since 1984, founded in San Francisco. We moved down to L.A., and we've written many plays over the years. Been all over the regional theaters, been all over the country, and for a little bit, we even had a TV show on Fox called Culture Clash in the early '90s, during the same time as In Living Color.
Right. I vaguely remember something like that. It was like right after, right?
Right after.
Yeah, I vaguely remember. You were fantastic in that, by the way.
Thank you.
No, I remember the show. I don't remember who was in it. I'm making a joke.
We flirted with Hollywood,
right?
But we always go back to the stage because we feel that on the stage we're in control of the writing, of the production, and we're able to get it right. Otherwise you're dealing with a lot of people who don't know about the culture, and I don't want to waste time.
So what are you working on now? What are you excited about working on right now?
I'm the playwright in residence at San Diego Rep. I'm just going to open a play called Beach Town in a couple of weeks, and it's a very interactive play, immersive, where the audience is a big part of the results of the play. So they really play a big part in the play. They are the play.
So what is it about? What is it about, and how's the audience get involved?
Yeah, Beach Town is a fake town called Beach Town, but it's much like San Diego, right? People will recognize recognize a lot of the similarities. And we have a time capsule celebration where we vote out an artifact that no longer represents the community, and we vote in a new artifact that represents us now. How do we feel about things now?
So give me an example of like I assume you've done some previews. What has been voted in? What's been voted out? What's kind of like the tone of the audience? What are they liking and what are they disliking?
Yeah, we talk about contemporary issues. You know, maybe we vote out something like an apron, which represented like assimilation of foreigners at some kind of hall, and we might vote in a tiki mug from a gay and lesbian bar that was very popular in the town, for example, or a military ID. You know, this is a big military town, but we also have an LGBTQ community,
right?
And so we have we talk about all these issues about identity, about immigration, about environment, all the things that affect San Diego.
And do you find that the audience is more liberal and accepting of people who may be different than them, or do you find it more, Trumponian of like, they're less inclusive?
Well, the most important thing is that we're all in the room talking about it. That's, I think, the most important thing about it. Whether you agree or not, it doesn't matter. You're there in the room and you have to listen and you have to engage. And I think that's what we need in this country more and more. We're just not talking to each other. We're more polarized than ever, right?
Of course, yeah.
And I think part of the reason is just we're not sitting down facing eye to eye, face to face like you and I right now, and just talking about it.
Right, I agree. So let me ask you this. Well, before I let you go, this is a show about achieving your American dreams. People, especially people of minorities, people who are first generation or maybe even second generation here in the United States, like yourself, achieving their American dreams. Tell us, have you achieved your American dream? And if so, what is it, or what are you still trying to achieve?
You know what? I think I have. I've always considered myself free. And so, when you have that attitude of freedom, that you are able to be free, and as an artist, you especially have to feel free. And I've been free to do my art. I've been free to write and produce the things I want. And that's why I stay in theater, mainly because I don't want to waste time, trying to get a film on, that takes 10 years. I'd rather write a play that'll take a year or 2 years to get on. So I've been really successful doing theater, and I'm very proud of that. And that's my American dream.
That's fantastic. I got one last question, just popped in my head right now. I assume the characters that you played are like in toy stores. You take your daughter to a toy store, you see your character that you played. How does it feel to be like an action figure in a toy store?
Yeah, well, I am already an action figure, right? I did a movie called Ben 10, Alien Swarm, and I played the bad guy, which is great. Bad guys are always fun.
Right.
And
I played you look pretty scary there.
Yeah. And so, they made an action figure out of him.
Oh, they did?
Okay.
And did they make an action figure out of your characters in Coco?
You know what? Not yet.
Oh no!
Not yet,
I would have thought that like your daughter goes into the toy store and says, "Oh my God, there's Daddy."
Yeah, I think the second round. Right now they concentrate on the main characters.
Right.
Second round they'll have the other characters because I am part of the. Yeah.
Right. Well, Herbert, you were wonderful to be on our show. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck on Beach Town. Where if somebody's in the San Diego area, you want to tell someone where they can go buy tickets and go see you?
Yeah, SanDiegoRep.com.
All right. Thank you very much. Fantastic. And congratulations on the Academy Award.
Thanks a lot. You're doing a great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Herbert Siguenza, part of the Academy Award-winning Coco movie. He was the cultural attaché, I guess, to the cultural consultant to the movie, as well as voicing two of the main characters. Fantastic job on his part. Just for the record, I was told Sam the groundhog wants to be in Coco 2. They're going to try to write him in. 1-800-529-5465 is the number to call to get on our show. Let's go to Naya in Atlanta, Georgia. Naya.
Yes. Hey, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
My question is, I have a friend who is ordered to leave since 2012, and I need to know how can you help him. He is here with his family.
What happened in 2012?
He was ordered to leave the country.
Okay, so he was ordered deported. All right?
Yeah.
There's a warrant out for his arrest. Immigration could knock on his door at any moment. So how do we help him? We got to figure out, well, maybe we don't have to figure out. Maybe you can tell us. Why was he ordered deported?
Well, his from what I got is that his wife filed for him, but
does he have a criminal record?
No, he has none. The only thing he has is that he was working and he wasn't supposed to be working.
Okay, that's okay. So he just has a violation of immigration laws. So what we need to do is we have to figure out how to reopen his case and get him his green card. The first step is reopening his case. That's what needs to happen. If we don't do it soon, eventually they're going to come and literally take him in handcuffs and he's going to be out of the country. So, time's not on his side.
I was telling him, but he's scared to even trying to reopen his case. So that's why I said I'm going to take the question for him and ask. Because he's scared to reopen his case because the lawyer he talked to, his lawyer told him to lay low for 3 years or 6 years and everything will.
That's the stupidest advice I ever heard in my entire life.
Okay.
Okay, he needs to reopen his case. There's any lawyer who says lay low and everything will be good in 3 years. That's like that doesn't even make any sense. Okay. So let him come see me. Okay. If he lays low, what'll happen is he's going to get deported. That's what's going to happen. Hold on 1 second. All right. 1-800-529-5465. Mike in Jersey City. Mike.
Yeah,
Mike,
hello?
How are you?
Good. I'm just calling back because I didn't have a chance to ask you the second question.
Yeah.
So, as I said, my mom was rejected for SB1 visa. So, apparently she lost her green card. But before she...
This is your mom in Algeria?
Yes, correct. Right. So before she left the States, she already petitioned for her son, which is who is under 21. Is my brother. So his case right now is with the NVC.
Yeah, that's a dead case because she's abandoned her permanent residence. She's not a permanent resident anymore. So so not only did she screw herself up, but she screwed your son up. Her son, your brother up.
Yeah, that's correct, my brother.
Yeah.
So now we're planning to apply for 130 again. So if she apply for 130 again, so can she use the same case or she needs to apply for him again?
She has to apply for him again, but one of the things she can do is apply a new I-130 and request the old priority date. That is something she may be able to do, but she's going to need a good lawyer for that. So he doesn't have to wait on the waiting list again. So in other words, if you're the same petitioner filing for the same beneficiary in the same category, you can request an old priority date.
How you can request it?
Well, that's why you come to me. You request it. You actually ask them, and you show the law. Okay, but guess what, Mike? Guess what? You are not, and what I am.
Oh, okay.
You know what I am, and you're not?
In New York?
No. No. I'm a lawyer.
Where?
You're not.
Oh, you're a lawyer.
I'm well versed in immigration law. You're not. And so what's been happening is you've been trying to be immigration lawyer, and so far you screwed your mom up and you screwed your brother up. So now's the time to come see me. Hold on.
Sure.
All right. 1-800-529-5465. Jamie in Long Island.
Yes. Hello. My question is, after you're a conditional resident, right?
Right.
Through spousal, and your green card expired, right?
Right.
How long after the fingerprint do you get the 10 years?
It's taken about 18, 20 months now.
18 to 20 months, and you can't travel within that time, right?
Of course you can. You're a green card holder. You got a letter extending your green card for 1 year. You travel on that letter and your expired green card.
Okay. So the next question I have is, how much is it now for the certificate of citizenship?
You're asking me what a filing fee is?
Yes.
That is the worst question to ask me because I never know. Let me look it up.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never... I have it right here. $1,170. It's right here on my computer.
Okay. But we've been married for 4 years, but he's been in the country for almost 3. Is it okay to go ahead and do the citizenship?
Who's he?
My husband.
Okay, but that wouldn't be a certificate of citizenship. That would be a naturalization application. Those are two different things you're asking me.
Okay.
All right.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he needs to have a green card for more than 3 years. So yeah, you can file your citizenship, but what I would generally do, unless there's some urgency to be a U.S. citizen, is wait to remove the conditions first, then turn around the next day and do the citizenship.
Oh, so wait for that one.
Yeah. Unless you could do both at the same time, but it's a very difficult thing to process, especially on your own. So unless there's some emergency why he needs to be a citizen, I would do one case and then the next. But I'm getting a feedback on you, so I gotta hang up on you, but you can listen, okay?
Oh, let me take it off. I know why you're getting the feedback, because I had it in my speaker in my car.
All right, okay. So that's the situation, okay? And if you need help and you're not, we can definitely take over these cases and make sure everything goes well.
All right, thank you very, very much.
All right, hold on one second.
All right, thank you.
All right. 1-800-529-5465. Let's go to Francine in Queens, New York. Francine.
Yes, good night, Brad.
Good night. How are you?
I'm asking a question for a friend. My friend, she has kids with a man, and the man has abused her, and she had order protection last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the man, she had dropped the charges, and the man keeps on aggravating her and threatening her, and she got out back an order protection. Is it a case where she can, she's undocumented, is it a case where she can apply and get
if it's her husband, she can do a VAWA
No, it's
case.
not her husband.
If it's not her husband, it's just a boyfriend, then she can do a U visa. She's a victim of a crime.
Does she have to have...
Is she a victim of a crime?
No, she's not a victim.
Okay, so he would need to be charged with a crime, and then she would have to be a victim of a crime to do something.
Oh, okay.
All right, but just getting an order of protection against somebody who's not your husband, that's not being charged with a crime, or having the husband charged with a crime. But you told me he was arrested before.
Yeah, he was arrested before,
okay, so
last year.
So Francine, let me ask you a question. He was arrested. Yeah. It was a domestic violence incident.
Yes.
Isn't that make her a victim of a crime?
And he begged her to drop the charges.
Isn't that a victim of a crime?
Yes.
Okay, so where she screwed up is she dropped the charges. So you didn't cooperate with the authorities. So in order to get a U visa, you need to not only be the victim of a crime, but cooperate with the authorities. She didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
So she screwed up. Big time. Let her come see me.
Oh, okay.
All right. 1-800, I hope Francine was at the sink and not the toilet. That was a weird sound I was listening to. 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. Let's find our favorite social media guru, our social media queen, Belgium Kim, with our final social media check-in for the night.
Our very final one.
Yes.
Peggy wants to know, my fiance is 42 and I'm 65. Can we get married?
Why not?
Why not, Peggy?
Why not?
It's your love.
Why not?
Celebrate that love.
Yes.
Denise says, can I file an I-131 after I've submitted my adjustment of status? I didn't include it at the time.
I give the same answer. Why not? Do it.
Why not?
Why not?
Kappa.
Or the answers to both of those questions was yes.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Yes. I've been leaning over this computer.
It's been like it's been kind of I know. I'm a little stiff too. Ooh, your
hugging
hands
myself.
disappeared for a hot second.
Right. You want to see me? Want to see me headless?
Oh my God!
No head. All right. Now that I have straightened out my body, let's continue. Okay.
Kappa has a completely heartbreaking story.
Yeah.
My wife filed for me from Jamaica, and then once I came to the U.S., she used my identity to take a bunch of credit cards out in my name, and then ran me out of the house. What can I do?
Who is this person who took the identity and ran her out of the house?
It was Kappa's wife that did it. So Kappa, he was
wife.
Yeah, his wife.
Well, maybe there was an abuse case there. I don't know. We got to look into it more.
We've got Beverly who says, I'm married to a green card holder in 2012. I got approved I-130, but now I have given an institution 3 years now, filing under the VAWA, and my documents were just received last week. How long do you think this process will take?
Another 18 months. I'm not sure what this institution has been doing for you for the last 3 years, but that seems like a long time to put your application together. I would be concerned about what they actually did.
What they're actually doing for you, right. Kamar says, how long should you wait for work authorization?
It's supposed to be 90 days, but it's really now 5-6 months. 4 to 6 months now, unfortunately.
David says, after the interview for citizenship, how long after you've been approved do you actually get to swear in?
It should be 2 to 4 weeks.
Congrats. June says, can you get your citizenship through your granddad who filed for you and your mom, and we got our green cards in 2013?
No. No citizenship through grandpa.
Even though you already have your green card?
If you have a green card, you can naturalize on your own, but has nothing to do with grandpa. So if you've had a green card, yeah, okay. So if you have, you get a green card through grandpa, that's fine. But the question was, can I get it because grandpa's a citizen? The answer is no. If you've had a green card for 5 years and you want to naturalize on your own, yeah, you naturalize on your own, but it has nothing to do with grandpa.
Grandpa doesn't have to do anything at that point. So then her follow-up is, can I file for my dad in Jamaica on my green card?
No.
And how much is the filing fee for citizenship?
$7.25.
I was really comfortable asking you that one, Brad. You just said it in front of you. Yeah. Morrison says, my husband filed an I-130 and an I-485 for my kids in December of 2016. My 16-year-old got her 10-year green card back in May, but we still have not received a green card for my 8-year-old son. Should I be worried?
Who filed for him?
His stepdad.
His stepdad? How old is he?
He's 8.
No, how old is the guy asking the question? He's over 21?
Oh, yes, she is over 21.
Yeah,
it's her husband. It's her husband who is filing for her kids.
Well, then, yeah, maybe.
And the daughter already got hers. The 16-year-old daughter got her 10-year green card like 6 months later.
Did the husband file a separate application for this 8-year-old?
That's the question.
That's the question. I don't know.
That's the question. And even if he did, they shouldn't be more than almost a year apart, right? Like if the daughter got hers in just 6 months.
Something's amiss.
Right. We've got Jen who says, I'm waiting on an interview date for citizenship. How long should that be taking?
9-10 months.
Queen Bee says, if you don't remember when you re-enter the country and you send in your papers, why can't you get an answer?
What?
I read that one verbatim because I didn't know how to decode.
I don't know what she's asking.
Great. We've got Linda who says, my son is a citizen. Do I need to draft him in the military? He's 21 now.
No, don't draft. You're not General Mattis or General Patton or Dwight D. Eisenhower. You don't draft anybody in the military. There is no draft. The only thing you need to do is he has to sign up for the Selective Service. God forbid there is a draft in the future. And he does that on his own. You don't do that. Okay. No moms are drafting any kids into the military.
No moms are drafting their sons for any kind of army.
Right.
Sandra says, do you need to get a stamp in your passport if your conditional visa expired so that you can travel?
Yes. Unless you have the letter. Let me take that back.
Yeah.
If you filed the application to remove the conditions, you get a letter back extending your green card for a year. So if you're within that first year, within that extension on your letter, you can travel with the letter and your expired green card. Beyond the 1 year, you then need a stamp in your passport.
We've got Marvin who says, a friend of mine has 2 kids that are U.S. citizens. Can anything be done for her to stay in the U.S.?
I don't know. Not the fact that you have 2 kids. That doesn't do anything unless they're 21. Maybe if you put in deportation, you could be cancellation eligible. But, that in of itself, the fact that there's 2 kids here doesn't entitle you to a green card. She needs a consultation.
Sharon has a tricky question. I know that if you come to the U.S. on a visa and give birth and then go back to your country, you're not going to get a visa to come back.
Correct.
But if you apply for a Canadian visa and you did that in the U.S., would you be granted one?
Yeah, what does Canada care about what you did in the U.S.?
What you did in the U.S., right? Tina says, my husband filed for me in the U.S. and my son, who's in Jamaica. I'm now waiting on my work permit. How long is it going to take for my son's filing to be complete?
Longer than yours. So you'll be about a year. He'll be about a year and change.
Marilyn says, I had a friend who went in for an interview and did not show up with her husband. Now she got a deportation letter. What can she do?
Fight her deportation, get a good lawyer.
Bro Frisco, actually.
Bro Frisco. I like that name, Bro Frisco.
That's kind of a cool name, right?
He sounds like a detective. Bro Frisco, right here at your services. Like he's an investor. Bro Frisco.
Yeah, he has a pet dog that helps him sniff out.
Correct. Right. Sounds like Ace Ventura, right? Bro Frisco, right?
Bro Frisco.
And Ace Ventura, right?
Or a really fancy meal at a really expensive restaurant. Like, we have a delicious Bro Frisco tonight.
Yes, but that's not a person.
No. Right. Bro Frisco says, can my auntie file for me now? I'm 32 years old.
No.
Auntie
After all of that, the answer was no. After all of that, the answer was just no. Auntie can't file for you.
Shani Bay wants to know, when can you put in your paperwork after marriage?
The next day.
Olawale, and I know I butchered that, so I'm sorry. Olawale says, can anyone convicted of a criminal offense have any chance at gaining legal status?
Anyone convicted of a criminal, yeah, sure. It depends what the criminal offense is, and maybe you don't even have a problem getting a green card with a criminal offense. Maybe you have good moral character. Maybe you can get a waiver. There's plenty of ways if you have a criminal offense that you're still entitled to a green card.
Kamar says, when the USCIS asks for more evidence, does the waiting time start all over?
I don't know what case you're talking about, Kumar. There's lots of different cases, so I'm not sure what you're doing and what evidence was requested and what stage you're at. So I need to know a lot more information.
So Queen Bee kind of reiterated her question.
Let me wait 1 second. Let me just finish with Kumar, because maybe I'm deciphering in my head. Okay.
Okay.
If his question is, he files an adjustment application, and immigration sends him back a letter saying you're missing XYZ, please send it in. The answer to his question is the waiting time hasn't even started yet. You're still at the starting line until you complete that application and get them the right documents. Only at that point does the clock start ticking for you to get an interview and your work permit. So I think that was his question. So you look at it the other way around. Think about it as you file and you turn over. Like the sand thing, and the sand is like dripping through.
Right.
Okay. The sand thing doesn't turn over to start dripping through for your work permit and your green card until you complete the application. So you haven't left the starting gate yet.
Oh man, they haven't put their hands on that little time.
Correct.
What is that called? Hourglass.
Hourglass. Right. I was calling it the timer thing, but you knew what I was talking about. Right.
I was like, what is the name for that?
Right. But you knew what I was talking about.
I did. Suku says, my father filed for me to come to the U.S. Can I get citizenship within the 1 year and 6 months?
No. What do you mean the 1 year and 6 months? What is he talking about?
I don't know. Apparently Suku had this magical 1.5 year wait.
All right. So this is it. If you're under 18 and you're living with your father in his legal custody, then yes, you're a citizen. It's not 1 year and 1 month. It's the day you got here. Otherwise, you're not a citizen. You got to wait 5 years. I have no idea where 1 year and 6 months came from. That's why I originally said no, because I know what he was talking about. But let me be very clear.
Donna says, how long will it take after the interview if you're successful for citizenship if I'm going to change my name?
You change your name when you go for your interview. When you go for your interview, they ask you if you want to change your name. And, of course, you can change it from Donna to Belgium Kim if you want to. You get the naturalization. Right.
Donna.
Right. What happens is when you go to naturalize and take your swearing in, they're going to give you a naturalization certificate with your new name. At that point, that is now your legal new name. So the day you swear in, you get your name on at the same moment.
Wendy says, if you file for residency, how long does it take to get permission to go back and forth to my country? And what if I have a 10-year visa?
If you applied for adjustment of status, you can get an advance parole in about 120 days.
Olive says, how long should it take to get a new date for an interview if you ask for one because your lawyer was a no-show? Oh, my goodness. Ooh.
But why do you deserve a new interview because your lawyer didn't show up? You still have an obligation to show up whether your lawyer was a no-show or not.
Right.
So they're not going to give you a new interview because your lawyer screwed up. You still have the obligation.
What you probably need is a new lawyer.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're going to get a new interview or not. That's not a reason to get a new interview because your lawyer committed malpractice by not showing up.
We've got Queen Bee who kind of rephrased her question.
Okay, because we only have about 2 or 3 more questions to go. We're running up at 7:30 here, and we also want to hear what all the comments were all about. What are all the shenanigans in Brad Squad today?
Oh,
right, so
and
let's
there were
finish our
some
questions. Okay.
Queen Bee says, if you don't remember when you entered the country and I can't find my passport, but I want to be able to send in my papers, how can I find out when I actually entered the country?
You do an I-102 application. You do a CBP for you. Come see me, Queen Bee.
Juliet says, I filed for 2 from June 11. How long does it take for them to come?
You filed for 2?
Just kids? For 2. There's 2 people. I'm assuming 2 children.
2 children. Are you a resident or a citizen? If you're a citizen, about a year and change. If you are a resident, about 2.5 years.
A Conby says, if you're married to a green card holder, can she change her name to your last name, or should she wait until she gets her citizenship before she changes her name?
It's a free world. Do whatever you'd like. And a modern world.
Oh, man, we are so woke.
Yeah.
O'Neill says, my visa was canceled in July of 2016. I recently applied today and was denied. The same information that I gave when I first applied, and they keep turning me down. I need help. How can you help?
Sounds like insanity to me.
Yeah,
you keep doing the same thing over and over and getting denied. I don't know how I can help. Come see me, and I'm going to do something different than whatever you're doing. Let me figure out what you're doing wrong first, and then I'm going to do something different. Maybe that'll do the trick.
That seems like a really good way to proceed.
Right, yes.
I'm going to ask one quick one from Ivy. Ivy says, my brother came here aged 14. My dad was a citizen at a time, and he's 20. My brother is now 25. Can he still get his citizenship?
It sounds like he's an automatic citizen if he was in the legal and physical custody of the father. We would need to know a little more, but yeah, it sounds like it to me, but we would need to know more information.
And our favorite, Marge Higgs.
So tell us what's going on, Brad Squad. Give me a rundown.
So let me tell
Higgs.
you, there's been a lot of back and forth, but Marge Higgs is coming for Jeff Bosey's comedy crown.
Why?
Because she has been delivering gold. Between the sign up and take a seat, she gave herself, the nickname of Glamma, and Jeff is her glam son. So today she showed up in the Spar Bernstein comments before she was in the Bradshaw
She's
Live.
going back and forth.
Yeah, so I was like,
she's working her way into a supervising writer job here on the Bradshaw Live, right?
Exactly.
She's working her right into like the writer's room, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when she finally made her way over to the Bradshaw Live comments, she said, "Good evening, everyone. I got lost and ended up over at the next house. When I looked around and never saw my grandson, I nearly wet my pants."
She went to Spar Bernstein. She couldn't find any of her friends, and then she found them all on Bradshaw Live. That's funny. That's funny.
So, yeah, Marge is coming for your crown, Jeff.
All right, Marge. Congratulations, Marge. Taking over the comedy crowd. Taking over the comedy crowd of Brad Squad on Bradshaw Live. Of course, everybody who's watching on Law Offices of Spar Bernstein and Bradshaw Live, thanks for all. And of course, everybody who's watching on Law Offices of Spar Bernstein and Bradshaw Live, thank you all for watching, tuning in, joining us, sharing in your comments and your problems and your issues, and hopefully we helped a few people and everyone had a good time as well, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.